Hello, welcome back to Top 5 Tuesdays, and this week we got a heat wave. We've got an absolute heat wave. You can see my face glistening in the LCD screen. I got two fans on me. Usually, historically, I've always turned fans off to make a video if it's a hot day, to make sure the sound is good for the video, but in this case I just cannot do it. I cannot function without at least two fans on me. Even then, it is roasting hot. Norway is just it's hotter than the sun right now. So anyway, top 5. Last week was awesome. Top 5 Spielberg films. Everyone got involved with the comments like I asked, which was great. That was really cool. And again, keep your suggestions coming. I'm noting them all down for future top 5 videos. This time though is another one I've just come up with. It is top 5 video games. Now, very quickly, I used to be a big gamer when I was a kid, like I think most people were who kind of have grown up in the gaming generations. As I got into my teenage years, not so much. Kind of moved away from games from like the mid-2000s onwards, and then the beginning of this decade, I guess, I got back into them again. Now, this top 5 has old and new. I'm usually one of those people who likes to stick to the old stuff, and I could easily make a top 5, best games of all time that are all games from the 90s, but I just have to concede that some of these newer games are just absolutely off the charts. So my list is going to be a mix of old and new. It pains me to get rid of some of the old classics that I love so much, but this is my top 5 favourite video games of all time. Number 5, it is actually a 5th entry in the series. It is Grand Theft Auto 5. For the PS4, I had the PS3 version, got the PS4 version once we got the PS4 last year. It's just one of the best games ever made in my opinion. Just the scope of it, what you can do, the attention to detail, the main story itself, which I haven't played on the PS4 yet. I've only played it all the way through on the PlayStation 3. But the main story is fantastic. It's fun, it's just a lot of fun. GTA 4 was a bit dreary and a bit dull at times. It's gritty and stuff and cool, but this is just so much fun. It's colourful, it's funny, it's exciting, the heists you do and everything. Then, for me, it's the online game. I never really was an online gamer until I got this. I have logged probably at least 100 hours, if not more, of just online play on GTA 5. Playing with my friends, just meeting up, just racing or doing death matches or doing anything. You can literally just go into this game. You can enter a world. You can do anything you want. I have a guy who looks pretty much like me with a ponytail and a little scruffy beard, and I meet with my mate and we go out and we just start. A few days ago, in fact, we were just out in the desert, just jumping on the train and having fights on top of the train as it was moving. And this guy turned up, and it was our friend Dan, who just randomly turned up with no kind of warning, and then we just started playing with him, and it's just so much fun. And the main game itself, it's just an incredible achievement in gaming. It's just absolutely incredible. And the reason it's on this list is because of those things, because it is a great game, but also the replay value. Because I've had it for I had the PS4 version for I guess 8 months now, and it never fails to entertain me for a few hours. Go on, play with my mate, and I'm here in Norway, and all my friends are back in the UK, so it's a great way for me to kind of just get on the headset and just have a chat with my mates, while we're just killing each other, and it's all good fun. At number 4, going back to the classics, Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo is probably my favorite console growing up, and Donkey Kong Country was just incredible. One of the best platformers of all time. You have the great graphics. It really was pushing the boundaries of graphics at the time for 16-bit graphics, and using kind of 3D rendered backgrounds and things like that. It just looked unlike anything I'd ever played before. It looked more smooth and crisp than games like Sonic. The gameplay was incredible. It's a hard game, but it's hard in a good way. You can master it, and I mastered it as a kid, and I just loved it. I loved the levels, I loved the map, the overview maps of all the different areas and stuff. I just was obsessed with that game when I got it growing up, when it came out in, I guess, 1995, something like that. I was just obsessed over it. The music as well really, again, pushed the boundaries of what you can put on just a little cartridge. The music is amazing in that game. It's just absolutely incredible. I love the second one as well. The third one was okay, but for me the first one is just probably my favourite platformer of all time, I would say. Exactly where I was as well. Oh, why did I do that? Missed it! Oh, it was right there! I swear to God. Oh, Jesus. Number 3. Again, it was tough to kind of quantify where to put what, but for me, number 3 right now is a joint entry into my top 5. Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Now I played Arkham City first when it came out in 2011, and I instantly said that's one of the best games I've ever played. And then it's only been in the last few months I actually went back and played through Arkham Asylum from start to finish. I have 100% of this game. I have now 100% of this game. I've done everything you can do in both of these games. This one in particular I kind of devoted my life to for months. And Arkham City, the story, just the fact that you can be Batman. The gameplay is incredible, it's so fluid, the mood, the atmosphere, the fact you can explore a whole city is just incredible. And if anyone doesn't know, this is the original from 2009, this is the sequel from 2011. Just amazing the way the villains are treated. I love the vision of Mr. Freeze in this, I love the vision of Penguin. Mark Hamill of course voices the Joker, Kevin Conroy voices Batman, so they're kind of reprising their roles from the animated series. They're both incredible. There's just so much you can do, and after I beat the main game on this, there's these challenge rooms, and they're so much fun, and it just months and months of replay value. I actually popped this back in again recently and just started playing more of it, and it's just an incredible game. And this one is pretty much the same. I mean, you can do less than this than Arkham City because there's more upgrades and gadgets in Arkham City, but this one, it really is kind of the original classic of the Batman Arkham kind of legend in a way. It's such an incredible game, and it's all set on Arkham Island, whereas Arkham City is kind of like a small city. It's like a cordoned off area of a sectioned off area of Gotham City. So you've got like a city to explore. In effect, Arkham City, one Arkham Asylum, it's just the island and just a few buildings. It's really like more claustrophobic, and you have to go like underground and stuff, or there's like a building where you go down an elevator shaft, and it feels very claustrophobic and atmospheric. And the music in these games is incredible as well. Just everything from top to bottom. They're both 10 out of 10 masterpieces, and I cannot wait to finally get into Arkham Knight as soon as we get our TV back, because our big TV is broken. Number 2. This was number 1 on my list for about 15 years. In fact, exactly 15 years, from 1998 until 2013. The Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64. It was the first Zelda game I ever played, and again, Nintendo 64 was such a huge console for me. It just came out at the perfect time. I got it at Christmas, everyone in my neighborhood had it, and it was just like, oh, the Nintendo 64, great memories, and there's so many games from that console I could put on this list. But The Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time, it was everything I wanted in a game. An epic adventure. You almost had the feeling that you could do what you wanted. You could go around and do little side missions and quests. The big overworld map, Hyrule Field. You have the 3 big dungeons at the beginning of the game where you go in and you kind of do the thing. You get the stone, and it's like classic fantasy game. And that's almost. I mean, the first 3 dungeons of The Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time, that could be a great game in its own right. But as soon as you've done those 3 dungeons, you go into the Temple of Time, you pull the Master Sword out of the stone, and then you age 7 years, and Hyrule's gone to hell, and now you have 7 more dungeons to do. It's such an epic game. It's massive in scope, so ambitious for the time. For me, the first great big 3D adventure game, and just the music as well is another thing that just brings back so many great memories, and it's just incredible, and I love that game so much. I'd love to see kind of a HD remake of that game. But yeah, The Ocarina of Time for me has been my favourite game up until 2013, and so it's been knocked down to the number 2 spot. But the mythology, the story, I mean, there's so much kind of story going on in the game where it's just text between characters talking, no voice acting whatsoever, but you read it and you get into it, and it's engrossing, amazing. Just love The Ocarina of Time with a passion I can't even adequately explain with words in English. So number 1, in fact no, for number 1 we've got to do the honourable mentions. I've got a couple of honourable mentions right here. A couple of newer ones. Rayman Origins for PS3 and Rayman Legends. These are 2 incredible platforming games that go back to kind of the origins, no pun intended, of kind of just basic 2D platforming, but with kind of 3D elements and stuff. I think they call this like a 2.5 3D game, or I don't know. There's a word for it, but it's basically a 2D platformer with kind of 3D elements. But they're both incredible. The music is great. I still am humming the themes from Rayman Legends. They're both just awesome games. Then this one is another one of those games that's big in scope and in ideas. It's Red Dead Redemption, an amazing story, absolutely incredible, huge in scope. I mean, you literally, if you like Western films, you can just be in a Western in Red Dead Redemption, and it has one of those endings where it's just like, wow, that was like watching a great film. Amazing game. Then the old classics, like Sonic 2, an amazing, amazing game. Oh, I can still play that today, and it still holds up. Sonic 3 and Knuckles as well. Rise Star on the Mega Drive. The Nintendo 64, Super Mario 64. How incredible was that? Lilac Wars or Star Fox 64. That's another favourite. The list goes on and on. But for me, the number one game, my favourite game of all time, I think is probably the best game ever made, and it kind of spits in the face of Roger Ebert. You know, as great as he was, he once said video games can never be considered art. And I say, well, just look at this. Look at this game. The Last of Us. Both PS3 and PS4 versions. I haven't played the PS4 version yet. I don't really need to yet. But it's remastered. Obviously the graphics are slightly better. But The Last of Us, unbelievable. I mean, I played that, and it was just like, I was in the story, you know, more than anything I've ever played. The atmosphere, the graphics, the storytelling, the acting from Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker, who play the two main characters, Joel and Ellie, they're both incredible. And their relationship is one of my favourite relationships in any story, period. I'm talking films, books, games, everything. And you get to play and be a part of that story. And you know, from the beginning of the game, you almost tear up, and at the very end, the last moment of the game, I was just like, fuck. And the credits rolled, and I just sat there like, that's just one of the best things I've ever seen / done. You know, the detail again, the music, the atmosphere. It's just, again, I don't want to go into the story. People know what this game is. It's been talked about to death. For me, it's the best game I've ever made. It's my favorite game of all time, and you know, it'll be a sad day when a game gets made that I enjoy more than this, because I can't wait to just revisit it again and again over the years, and I'm eagerly anticipating the moment where I'll feel like I'm ready to play the remastered version and experience it all over again. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, that's my pick for number one. Let me know what your guys' favourite video games are, of course. As always, leave suggestions for future top 5 videos. I always note them down and will use them and credit you in the future. I'm sorry my Facebook is going off, and I've got the fans as well. This is really bad, but it's a hot day, and I struggled through this, but I love doing the top 5 videos. So yeah, what are your favourite video games? Let me know, whether it's old games, new games, whatever. What do you think about the games I mentioned? And yeah, that's about it really. Thank you to my highest pledging Patreon supporters, Jody Wood, Ryan Chataway, Vezius, and Cineram. And that's about it. I will see you in the next video, which will be more collection overview tomorrow on Wednesday. So yeah, stay tuned for that. See you then.
So you might say he's a really nice guy, really, but if fucking don't cut shit with me. He says he's really cool, but I think he's a tool.